The wealthy socialite hosted a matchmaking event with an outrageous demand. Every man had to provide a sperm sample for quality inspection. In my past life, I sensed something was wrong and tried to warn my brothers not to participate. They just laughed at me. So scared of a sperm test. What? Are you impotent? Maybe you should just get castrated and become a eunuch. Don't stand in the way of us getting rich. Seeing they were all my cousins, I couldn't let them walk into a trap. I secretly threw all their samples away. Later, Daphne gave birth to a black baby and committed suicide. But then they started spreading rumors that I was impotent. They even took secret nude photos of me and posted them in the family group chat. My own brother, Liam Chase, took the lead and drowned me in a toilet. They gave false testimony to the police. James Foster is impotent and tried to rape his own brother's girlfriend. We caught him, and he killed himself out of shame. My parents fought desperately to find evidence to clear my name. They never imagined Liam would be vicious enough to have them both committed to a psychiatric facility where they were tortured into insanity. At my own funeral, Daphne Sinclair miraculously reappeared. Holding another child, she inherited my entire estate. Given a second chance, I was determined to see if she'd accept a dog sperm this time. After becoming a ghost, I saw Daphne Sinclair and Liam Chase show up at my funeral. They stripped naked and started passionately kissing. "Thank goodness your brother was an idiot," Liam said. "Otherwise, since you're adopted, you wouldn't have gotten a cent of the family money." It turned out they had been together all along. Liam had deliberately had Daphne arrange the matchmaking scheme to swindle our entire family out of our wealth. Whose child was Daphne holding after my death? Liam's. Suddenly, I felt a heavy punch to my chest. I jerked my eyes open and found myself reborn back at the matchmaking banquet. Liam Chase was frowning at me. "James, why are you trying to stop the testing? It was a hassle for us all to get here. Are you just impotent and jealous of us getting rich?" The other cousins all looked at me with suspicion, practically wanting to rip my pants off right there to compare sizes. You know, now that you mention it, I've never actually seen James. Thing. James never uses the bathroom with us. Maybe he really does have a problem. No wonder he can't find a wife. The familiar rumors were laughable. Last time, I thought this whole event was shady. What kind of stranger demands sperm quality checks upon first meeting? Shouldn't that be done at a hospital? My well-intentioned warning only made these fools resent me, leading to my death. I didn't understand why some cousins, already with wives and kids, would even come. Seeing my silence, Liam sneered. "James, you might have more money and success than us, but where else can you find a deal like this? Have a kid and get a share of the inheritance." Seeing his smug face, I wanted to beat him to a pulp right then. But with so many people around, causing a scene could cost me my job. I couldn't just let it go, so I fired back. "What makes you think a wealthy socialite would ever be interested in you? Is it your poverty, your ugliness, or the STDs you got from sleeping around?" My questions immediately made some of the brothers nervous. They pulled Liam aside. "James has a point. Could this really be a scam?" This matchmaking event had been forwarded to the family group chat by Liam himself. He was the one who rallied all the cousins to come. Hearing my question, a flash of panic crossed Liam's eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. He scoffed. "James, don't you work at a major corporation? How can you be so naive? Don't you know these elite women are into this? This is how wealthy families improve their gene pool." He started painting a grand picture. "If you're scared she won't acknowledge the child, it's fine. We'll do a sperm roulette, mix everyone's sample together. When the child is born, we all share the money." Share the money. The crowd erupted in cheers. I was stunned, finding it utterly absurd. Last time, I didn't retort, just try to reason with them. I never knew Liam had this planned. Their minds were already clouded by greed. If I had known, I wouldn't have bothered last time. I was about to leave when Daphne Sinclair walked out. "No one leaves," she said, looking at me with pitiful eyes. "James, you're the eldest here. How can you be so irresponsible? I've already reserved the spots. You can't go." Before I could respond, Liam had already wrapped his arm around Daphne's waist, giving her buttock a squeeze. He turned and threatened me. If you dare leave, even if you're my blood brother, I'll strip you naked and throw you out on the street right now. Let everyone know you're useless. Hearing this, I wanted to tear Liam apart. I sat back down silently and texted my parents to confirm they were safe at home. They replied lovingly, "Son, we heard you're at a matchmaking event. If you find someone you like, bring her home. Have all the children you want. Your father and I will support you. Your brother is still young. If he doesn't understand something, teach him." Seeing they still cared for Liam made my blood boil. Even though Liam was adopted, if I hadn't heard their conversation after my death, I would never have known. My parents always treated us equally, often favoring Liam because he was younger and weaker. No one in this family would ever believe Hugh was the adopted one. Daphne Sinclair first looked over the crowd and smiled. "I can see it," she said. "You all look like virile, capable men. Today's event is a special opportunity Liam Chase arranged for you. My family's fortune will be yours someday, as long as you don't leave behind what's required." She said leave behind suggestively, her finger hooking towards the bathroom. The men all laughed and surged towards the bathroom. I followed. I saw a poodle in the corner frantically rubbing against the wall with its hind leg, emitting impatient whimpers. Its dumb look perfectly mirrored these fools chasing after money. I couldn't help but laugh. The bathroom reeked of urine. My cousins snickered as they unbuckled their belts. "Look at me. So big. Any child Daphne has will definitely be mine. Too bad we have to do artificial insemination. With so many of us brothers, wouldn't it be more fun to just do it the natural way?" Hearing their talk disgusted me. Trash, filled with nothing but garbage thoughts. This time, I wouldn't stop them. I wanted to see them get scammed out of everything. "Brother, what's taking you so long? Planning to chicken out?" Liam shook his pants, deliberately waving the collection cup in my face. "Relax," Daphne said. "Whoever's sample passes quality check will get a share of the profits when the child is born." Another cousin chimed in. "Yeah, James, if you can't perform, just say so. We brothers can spare some for you." I smirked but didn't answer. Suddenly, I saw a shadow pass by outside. I raised my voice. Strange, isn't that Daphne leaving? Could she be heading to another matchmaking event? Our chance is flying away. Their attention was successfully diverted. They all scrambled to pull up their pants. Liam hurriedly tried to stop the crowd. "Wait, wait, wait. Don't run. Ours is the only event." But no one listened to him. Who wouldn't worry about their chance to become rich being snatched away by someone else? Seizing this opportunity, I quickly steadied Liam and slipped the dog's fluid into the collective reagent container. Thankfully, they were all so confident in their own luck that they had poured everything into one large beaker. Otherwise, it would have been tricky to pull off. By the time Liam regained his composure, he only saw me buckling my belt, ready to leave. "Why did you take so long?" he asked suspiciously, eyeing my pants. "I'm in good health. High yield. Plenty to go around," I said, my gaze dropping to his crotch with mockery. Liam, a perennial homebody who barely got any exercise, had just revealed something that could best be described as the pinky finger among fingers. I had no idea what made him think Daphne Sinclair would be devoted to him. I even suspected that the child Daphne had brought in my previous life wasn't his at all. This struck a nerve with Liam. He always thought he was better than me. Yet, I was the biological son, with a respectable job he could never have. Liam glared at me viciously. "So what? The child will still call me." He suddenly realized he'd said too much and stopped. But I knew. He meant the child would still call him daddy. Was Liam really not being cuckolded? I remembered when Daphne gave birth. I happened to see a colleague discharged from the hospital. The man excitedly holding the baby outside Daphne's room was an Asian. As I walked out of the bathroom, I heard Liam cursing, "Damn it, who pissed on my shoe?" Daphne Sinclair looked at the full bucket of mixed fluid with immense satisfaction. "Everyone, rest assured. Once I give birth, you will all be the child's family. Besides the biological father, who will inherit my company. Each of the others will receive stocks worth $1 million. As soon as she finished, someone started clapping wildly. Following the sound, I saw a cousin in a Hawaiian shirt slapping his chest proudly. I've trained for this. Once I get my share, the first thing I'll do is ditch the old hag at home. The corner of my mouth twitched. Trained where? He was just a rotten womanizer. How could he boast about illegal activities? A few other cousins laughed along. Even the most honest second cousin had red eyes. My son is just about to start school. If I get the money, he can go to a private academy. I sneered inwardly. In my last life, this very second cousin pinned my legs down when Liam held my head in the filthy water. He kept muttering, "James, don't blame me. Blame yourself for blocking everyone's path to fortune." These people had long fed their conscience to the dogs for illusory wealth. What's everyone rushing for? I slowly pulled out a lollipop and put it in my mouth. Only the uncultured smoke in public. Did Ms. Sinclair mention what happens if the child is born with a genetic disease? Does it still count? Like, say, a genetic mutation turns it into a little black kid. The noisy corridor fell silent instantly. Liam frowned. "Brother, are you deliberately picking a fight? Ms. Sinclair comes from a great family with a vast business. Why would she scam us for our paltry offerings?" "I'm not picking a fight." My gaze swept over these ungrateful wolves. "Have you ever wondered why she wants our sperm instead of going to a sperm bank? The quality there is higher, and it's clean. Why seek out a bunch of relatives? What if she just makes up an excuse, says your sperm is no good? Wouldn't all your efforts be in vain?" This hit their sore spot. Some began to waver. "Well, that does make some sense. Brother, aren't you overthinking it?" Liam's voice sounded a bit hollow. "Miss Sinclair said she just wants someone familiar. Makes it easier for the child to connect with relatives later." "Familiar?" I laughed. "Does she know you, Liam Chase, play games all day at home, and are drowning in online debt? Does she know third cousin was arrested for soliciting prostitutes last year and has a criminal record? Or that you, second cousin, have hepatitis B?" With every sentence I uttered, someone's face turned paler. These were the very things Daphne had used against them in my previous life to threaten them into giving false testimony against me. Liam's face turned completely dark. "Brother, don't make baseless accusations." But I wasn't trying to persuade them. I changed my tack and continued. "So, you should film it and have her sign a legal contract." The tense expressions on Daphne and Liam's faces instantly relaxed. They knew perfectly well such a contract would be legally void. Their underground sperm buying scheme was illegal in the first place. Daphne agreed immediately. She walked up to me, deliberately thrusting out her chest. Her neckline was very low, revealing an expanse of pale skin. "Although you always give me a hard time, James, as a woman, I must listen to the men." "I agree. I believe you're not the kind of man who only cares about money. Don't you want a child of your own?" Her voice dripped with deliberate seduction, and her perfume was overpoweringly pungent. I stared at her with a faint, ambiguous smile, which made Daphne Sinclair retreat several steps in alarm. Not only that, but I also had the brothers keep an eye on Daphne, ensuring she went to the hospital for the artificial insemination. I was curious, would samples from a non-human creature even work? It wasn't until Liam Chase excitedly told me, "Brother, you hit the jackpot. Daphne is pregnant, and she's carrying quintuplets," that I was truly dumbfounded. It wasn't that Daphne was pregnant again, it was the number. Was she a breeding sow? How come in this second life, Daphne was having even more children? I looked at Liam with a mix of disbelief and asked, "How can you be sure it's my child? Didn't you mix that stuff together? What doctor has eyesight good enough to tell them apart? Did aliens land or something?" Hearing my teasing, Liam looked displeased. "Brother, don't talk about Daphne like that. She's carrying 5 children, and we all agreed to raise these 5 children together. You need to hurry up and mortgage your house and car, rush to get the children registered, or you'll lose the naming rights." Liam's statement confused me even more. "What naming rights?" He looked at me with contempt. "You don't even get that. Daphne is having 5 children. She's our family's lucky star. Whoever becomes the father of her children will definitely strike it rich, bring honor to our ancestors. All our cousins have already signed over their houses to Daphne. Even the married ones are rushing to get divorced and split their assets. If there was only one spot before, I wouldn't have told you. But Daphne is having 5 children now. The more capital you give Daphne, the more you'll profit. Finally, I understood. Quintuplets. Liam Chase and Daphne Sinclair were just looking for 5 patsies. I suspected if claiming more than 5 children was realistic, they'd probably say 1086. Forget cousins. Even my dad, my uncles, my ancestors would have to crawl out of their graves to be proud fathers. Why do we have to pay her? Isn't Daphne the wealthy socialite? Didn't she say she'd pay you since she got pregnant? I coldly interrupted Liam's fantasy, leaving aside that those 5 children might not even be the same species as me. Even if they were, they couldn't possibly be mine. And their dog daddy had the bad luck to get neutered that very day. I felt a bit guilty saying that. I hadn't been careful when collecting the fluid, and the dog got covered in the stuff after. Its owner screamed, and, with one phone call, scheduled a neutering appointment for an hour later. Liam was about to feed me more of his line about it being an investment. This is an investment. Do you even know what that means, you idiot? We only put in a small amount of money to get all of Daphne's fortune. I cut him off directly. All right, stop the nonsense. I'll go, okay. If nothing else, I'm genuinely curious to see what kind of monstrosity Daphne is carrying. I have to see it with my own eyes, whether it's human or demon. Of course, I wouldn't let Liam and the others smoothly deceive me. I turned around and made a phone call. On the way to the hospital, I realized those brothers had never forgotten this matchmaking event. They discussed dividing Daphne's assets daily in the family group chat, excited like dogs that had smelled meat buns. Daphne said Miss Sperm quality is the best, most promising. When the child is born, she'll give me a building worth $10 million. That's nothing. Daphne asked me if I preferred boys or girls. I said I like both, and she smiled. She must be most satisfied with me. She can't wait to hand over her entire fortune to me. Reading these messages, I felt nothing but irony. They had no idea their proud seed had long been replaced by a dog's. I couldn't wait to see the look on Daphne's face when she found out. As soon as I entered the hospital, a few brothers pulled me aside to discuss. James, you should sell your house. Myson needs to be registered. He can't be without a home. And your job, I heard you make $10,000 a month. Tell your boss to hire me too. I need to provide for my family and children now, so I'll reluctantly settle for $20,000 a month. They stared at me with gleaming eyes, dividing all my assets among themselves with their words. I looked at them, amused. Why should I? Who the hell do you think you are? They were instantly displeased. How can you be so unselfish? We're all going to have a common son soon. We're all family. If we have money, doesn't that mean you have money? Why are you so calculative? I was puzzled. Had someone scooped out a part of their brains? How could they be so stupid? Just then, I heard Daphne Sinclair's affected voice behind me. James, don't be angry. I told everyone. You will all be my children's fathers from now on. We must love each other harmoniously. I am carrying 5 children, after all. Whoever contributes the most, I will consider who gets to raise which child. I sneered inwardly. Contributes the most just meant whoever was scammed out of the most money. I glanced at Daphne's belly. Good Lord, it looked nothing like those enormous, ready-to-burst bellies you see on the news. She looked, at most, 1 month pregnant. How did these fools believe she was carrying quintuplets? Daphne placed her phone's payment QR code on her belly. All right. For the children's sake, everyone must stop arguing. Quickly, scan the code. If the children in my belly know everyone's sincerity, they will be so happy and can't wait to come out and meet you all. Liam Chase also stepped forward, wrapping his arm around Daphne's waist, adopting the posture of a husband, and issued a command to everyone. A minimum of $100,000 per person. If you don't have enough, go take out a loan. We can suffer, but we can't let the children suffer. Just as these fools were about to blindly scan the code, I coldly reminded them. You say quintuplets, so it's quintuplets. You say there are children, so there are children. Where's the proof? The other brothers also came to their senses. Yeah, and it's not necessarily a son in there. Daphne, you're pregnant, and I've never even touched you once. Why can Liam be next to you, touching your waist and your belly? I'm a father too. The men crowded around Daphne Sinclair more and more tightly, eyeing her body with barely concealed lust. Pregnant Daphne showed no signs of aging. On the contrary, nourished by recent monetary gains, she appeared fuller and more alluring. Seeing the encroaching crowd, Daphne grew frightened and suddenly screamed, I see it now. James Foster, you're deliberately stirring up trouble, aren't you? You want to monopolize my child and my fortune for yourself. Liam Chase quickly chimed in. That's right. Everyone, don't forget why we're here, to claim our share of the children. Brother, it's too much for you to say that. How can you be so short-sighted? Fine. Hand over 200,000 right now, or don't even think about leaving. The fickle crowd fixed their stares on me again, some even starting to grab for my back. I clenched my fists, staring into the malice in Liam's eyes. I finally understood his goal, to rob me under the guise of this chaos. I turned to leave, but Daphne clung to me relentlessly, wrapping her arms around me and even rubbing her belly against me. Oh, Daphne, you're bleeding down there, someone shouted. I turned and saw Daphne's lower body suddenly gushing with bloody fluid. You killed our child. Liam's eyes turned red with rage. He threw a vicious punch into my stomach. The surrounding brothers, their brains feverish with anger, rushed forward, pinned me to the ground, and started beating me mercilessly. Stop it, everyone. Daphne is going into labor. Daphne was rushed into the operating room. Before I could break free and stand up, I saw Liam already had my phone, calling our parents. Mom, Dad, my brother got someone pregnant, and there's trouble. Quick, wire me $1 million. Otherwise, he's going to be crippled. As he spoke, he pulled out a knife, pointing it at my crotch with a sinister grin. Brother, since Daphne is having 5 kids for you anyway, you don't really need this thing, do you? Just focus on raising our sons properly. Ha ha. Liam actually wanted to castrate me to make me docilely raise his children for him. My face instantly turned pale. The other brothers looked at each other, then all turned their backs. Not an ounce of brotherly loyalty remained. It's an honor for you to raise our sons. Don't be ungrateful. And who knows, one of them might actually be yours. Hearing Liam's boast, I spat in his face. How can you be so sure that the fluid you collected last time was entirely human? You want me to raise your son? I made you raise a dog's son. Liam frowned in confusion. What dog's son? What are you talking about? Just as he moved the knife closer to me, a cry rang out. The baby is born. A doctor walked out, holding a black baby, who is the father of Daphne Sinclair's child. The baby's skin was as dark as coal, curled up and wailing in the doctor's arms. It was clearly not the child of any of us yellow-skinned men. Liam was dumbfounded. The other brothers were stunned. I sneered as expected. This child's father must be Daphne's true love. Third cousin's eyes immediately turned red. He lunged forward and choked Liam. Is this my son? I gave you my entire life savings, $1 million for a bride price. And Daphne gives birth to to this thing. Another cousin tried to charge into the operating room, but was stopped by quick-thinking medical staff. Daphne Sinclair, get out here. You said you had 5 sons. Where's my son? Second cousin stood frozen on the spot. No son, then I can't inherit her family's fortune. Why money is gone. Liam was also bewildered. He had seen Daphne undergo the procedure himself. To gain an advantage, he had specifically waited until his own sample was successfully cultivated before having the hospital inseminate the others with the mixed sample. Give me my money back. I divorced my wife for Daphne, and you tell me she gave birth to this. The brothers swarmed Liam furiously, pummeling him with a rain of fists and kicks. His screams were like a pig being slaughtered. Just as I settled in to enjoy the show, Liam suddenly pointed at me. I know. It must be James Foster's doing. Otherwise, why was everyone else happy thinking they had a son, but he was the only one asking all those questions? He must have done something. My heart sank. This bastard was really good at diverting blame. Worse still, my mother's desperate cry echoed from the end of the corridor. My son. What's happened to my son? I tried to stop my parents from coming over, but Liam was faster. He threw himself at my mother's legs, crying, "Mom, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have let my brother knock that girl up. Now his son has mutated into a black child. Our family needs to come up with 10 million quickly to buy her silence. Otherwise, my brother's reputation will be ruined." The audacity of Liam was astounding. He jumped from asking for millions to 10 million in an instant. He was treating our family like a startup fund. My parents had always favored Liam. I was terrified they might believe him. At that moment, my father suddenly kicked Liam flying. Take that. His kick sent Liam and those cousins tumbling into the corner like bowling pins. The second cousin, who was at the back, was in so much pain he couldn't get up off the floor for a long time. I was stunned. What was happening? My father, though a rough man, had always been reasonable before. Why was he attacking Liam too? While I was still processing this, my mother rushed over and pulled me into a tight embrace. Her voice was choked with sobs. "Son, we're here now. You must never think of taking your own life again." In that instant, I understood. They had been reborn too. With trembling fingers, I opened my phone. The screen was filled with missed calls and messages that made my eyes ache. "Son, come home quickly. Your cousins are all trying to harm you. That woman isn't carrying your child. Mom is begging you. Forget about Liam Chase and the others. Let whoever wants the inheritance have it. We just want you safe and sound." Each word felt like a stab to my heart. If possible, I would have wished to be the only one who remembered the pain from the previous life. Liam Chase scrambled up from the floor, his face a mask of grievance. "Mom, Dad, why did you hit me? James Foster is the one who did wrong. He tampered with everything and ruined your grandson. You should disown him and cast him out of the family forever." The other cousins didn't dare talk back to their elders, but they glared at me with equal fury. I raised my phone. "You want the truth? Fine. Here it is." The moment I played the video, the screen showed Daphne Sinclair and Liam Chase locked in a tight embrace, biting and kissing each other. "You really think your stupid brothers will fall for this trick?" Daphne panted, her voice breathy. Liam snorted coldly. "Of course. Why should they have happy families and get money while I, the adopted son, get nothing? I'm going to swindle them out of every last cent, ruin their reputations, and destroy their families. Once our son is born, we'll let that idiot James Foster be the patsy and raise him for us. Ha ha. Then the entire Foster family fortune will be ours." The smug smile on Liam's face froze instantly. His pupils contracted sharply as he stared at my phone in horror, as if he'd seen a ghost. "Lies. I never said that. It's all AI generated." He panicked. Seeing the cousins' darkening expressions, Liam had a sudden flash of inspiration. "And even if I did say that, the child should still be mine. But look at it now. How could that be my son? It must be you, James, trying to steal Daphne's fortune and frame me. Mom, Dad, listen to me." Before he could finish, I switched to another video. It opened with a goofy-looking poodle. The cousins looked bewildered. "James, what trick are you pulling now? You think you can fool us with a dog? You think we're as stupid as you?" I ignored them and continued playing the video expressionlessly. The dog was very energetic. The contents of the collection tube grew. The moment they saw the fluids being mixed together, everyone's minds went blank. Their eyes bulged, mouths agape, unable to make a sound. Liam's legs gave way beneath him. "Impossible. How could you possibly know about my plan?" The moment those words left his mouth, all eyes snapped toward him. Liam Chase was finished. And Daphne, how could she escape? Before anyone could pull open the operating room door, a coquettish voice came from inside. "Honey, did you see? I gave you a big, healthy son. He looks just like you. If those idiots come looking, I'll just say the babies were switched at birth. It's not like they can prove otherwise. Daphne continued. The child wasn't conceived through proper channels anyway. They won't dare make a fuss. We'll take the money and run. And that Liam Chase, that what a fool. He actually thought I liked him. As he looked in a mirror. He's nowhere near as good as you, darling. Hearing this, a devastated Liam burst through the door. He saw Daphne leaning into the arms of a masked nurse, whose exposed skin was unmistakably black. Everyone understood instantly. Liam had truly been cuckolded. Liam completely broke down. He grabbed Daphne's arm, fell to his knees, and sobbed, "Wife, how could you do this to me? I've been completely devoted to you. I scammed our entire family, our whole clan, for you. How could you be with this man? Wife, look at me. Please, if you're willing to start over with me, we can have another child. I won't hold your past against you." The cousins' faces turned a kaleidoscope of colors. This Liam Chase had none of our family's backbone. He was groveling beyond belief. Daphne's arm hurt from his grip. The last vestiges of post-birth weakness vanished from her face, replaced by undisguised disgust. "What are you doing here? Where's the money? Weren't you supposed to get me 10 million? Listen, without 10 million, don't you dare touch me again." Daphne showed not a hint of guilt, instead turning the interrogation on Liam. Liam looked utterly defeated. "It's gone, it's all gone. James mixed dog fluid into our samples. No one can be the father now." Seeing they were still scheming, I quickly egged on the fools. "What are you all standing around for? The masterminds are right here. How much money do you even have in your pockets? You've never even seen 10 million. Can you afford to be scammed like this by them?" Second cousin was the first to react. He grabbed Daphne by the hair and yanked her out of the man's arms, throwing her to the floor. The man, a complete coward, seeing the situation turn, pulled up his pants and tried to run. Liam caught him by the leg and tripped him hard. "Don't you run. Daphne loves you. How could you betray her?" If Daphne hadn't also been my murderer in my past life, I'd almost want to learn her secrets for training dogs so well. The family's money was gone. The relatives, their fury long suppressed, finally exploded. Someone grabbed Daphne's bag from the bedside and pulled out stacks of bank transfer records. Someone else called the police, reporting Liam's fraud against the family along with everything else. The black man was searched, and a fake nurse's license was found. It turned out he was an illegal immigrant Daphne had hooked up with long ago. The two had plotted to scam enough money and flee. Even while being pinned down, Daphne still managed to shoot Liam a look of pure venom, calling him the useless failure who ruined her path to riches. The height of absurdity came when the police arrived. Liam was still clutching Daphne's leg, begging her not to abandon him. Second cousin kicked him away. "The foster family has no use for a spineless worm like you." Liam sat dumbly on the ground, watching Daphne be led away. Suddenly, he started laughing like a madman, then crying, repeating over and over, "My child my 10 million." Even as he was being taken away, Liam struggled and shouted, "Daphne, wait for me. I'll provide for you when I get out." His utterly devoted appearance made the watching nurses shake their heads in disbelief. I stood outside the crowd and smiled. The scenes in the interrogation room were even uglier than in the operating room. Daphne insisted she was also a victim, blaming everything on the black man, saying he used a fake identity to deceive her feelings. The black man, through a translator, cried and claimed he was just a hired actor and that the entire scheme was Daphne's idea from start to finish. Liam was the most pathetic, admitting he defrauded the family while still making excuses for Daphne, saying she was just momentarily confused. But the evidence didn't lie. Bank records, forged prenatal reports, even chat logs between Daphne and the black man discussing how to abscond with the money were all dug up by the cousins. Especially the accounts of Liam embezzling our family's property. It was irrefutable proof. The day we visited the prison, my father went with me. Through the thick glass, Liam wore prison garb, his hair mostly white, his eyes as hollow as a dry well. When he saw us, he became agitated and shouted through the intercom, Brother, ask Daphne for me. Is she willing to wait for me? I'll make 10 million for her when I get out." My father couldn't help himself. He leaned into the microphone and cursed, "You fool." I didn't say a word, just made a face at Liam. Walking out of the prison gates, the sunlight was warm and bright. My father patted my shoulder. "It's all over now.